Signing your first professional contract is a dream for millions of players around the world, and you might be one of them. In 2022, I signed my first pro contract after years of tries and failures. But on my way to that contract, I had to find a balance between my football career and a lot of other things in my life. At one point it was school and studies, at another it was romantic relationships and work, and right now I'm trying my best to achieve a balance between my football career and this YouTube channel. No matter what your circumstances are, finding a good balance will help you feel and perform better in your footballing journey, but also in your day-to-day life. Today, I will provide you with a framework consisting of 5 simple but incredibly powerful steps of how you can achieve a healthy balance, but still make sure that you're doing everything possible to progress in your football career. Let's begin. Step 1. Set goals. I'm 100% sure you have heard of this one before, and it can get a bit boring hearing the same thing over and over again. However, I want to widen your perspective and give you a different perception of what goals can actually mean. Previously in my life, I was really meticulous in my goal setting, and I wanted it to be structured to the most minute detail. For example, I found a concept known as reverse engineering, and I thought it was the best thing ever. So with reverse engineering, you start at your end goal and you work backwards until you arrive at your current point. This can make it easier to understand and visualize the steps that you need to take to reach your goal. Then I realized that this didn't actually work for me personally. I became a bit paralyzed by my own goals, and I always tried to readjust them to what I thought was best at that moment in time. This constantly left me in a state of paralysis by analysis, and I didn't know what to do. Now instead what I do is I use my goals, and I don't have a lot of them to keep things simple. I use them as more of a compass to guide me, rather than something to always obsess over and overanalyze. Instead, I have more of a vague idea of where I want to go, and this more relaxed approach have helped me progress quicker. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all though, and you may find that structuring everything out in the smallest of detail may benefit you more, and you may enjoy that more. And then you should go for that one. I'm just saying that there's more than one way that you can set your goals, and you should find the way that works best for you. Step 2. Energy placement. Now we know where to go, either through a detailed plan or having that internal compass to guide us. What we want to do now is make a dedicated effort and try to figure out a few areas of our life where we want to put our energy. Because one issue that I've noticed with myself and with other players is that sometimes we beat ourselves up in our mind because we think we're not doing enough. And if we just tried a little bit harder, everything would work itself out. In reality though, it often isn't the work ethic or the dedication that is the problem, but instead that we simply lack the time to do it. More specifically, the time that we're energized enough to do it at 100%. If we always have a lot of other things to focus on in our life, that will drain our energy and our mental capacity. There's no way around that. And if you consistently have other activities or other things on your mind, you won't be able to dedicate yourself fully, and that is the only way that will grow. So, what do we do to solve this? We limit ourselves to 5 bigger areas of our life where we want to put our focus into. We limit it at a small number because we want to make sure that we can dedicate ourselves 100% to these areas and not do them half-heartedly. So, for example, in my own life, I have capped this number at 3 areas, them currently being football, YouTube, and studies. If I were to add more onto these 3, I know from experience that I won't be able to dedicate myself fully to them. I will just start to stress out and things won't work optimally. Hence why my personal limit is capped to 3. Your individual situation might be different depending on your circumstances, what kind of person you are, and how much time and effort these areas take up in your life. Some areas are more comprehensive, draining, and time-consuming than others. Some not so much. So decide a couple of areas. It could be combining school while at the same time pursuing a football career, or you may have to go to work while also trying to dedicate yourself to the game. This number could and should also be subject to change, but you have to try it out for a while and see how it feels. My recommendation is to start at 3 areas, and then if you feel like it's too much, you can take it down to 2, and if you feel like you can take more on, up that up to 4. All our circumstances and lives are different, hence why there can't be a single fixed number for everyone out there. Step 3. Time management. Okay, so now we have set our goals and we have decided a couple of areas that we want to put our focus to. Now we move into a key component, and that is our time management. What I want you to do now is, since you're able to watch this video, I assume you have a phone or a computer of some kind. If for some reason you don't, a pen and paper will do just fine. Then open up a calendar app of your choice. I prefer Google Calendar, so my examples will be from that one. Now, plot out the entire week, what it looks like right now in your life, and do that for every day of the week. The time you spend sleeping, the time you spend on different meals, being at training, studying at school, working, or whatever it is. This will take a bit of time, but trust me, it's gonna be worth it. I usually color code the different areas to get a better visual representation of where I actually spend my time. Football related activities gets green, YouTube gets red, and work gets blue. Here you can see what my calendar looks like right now. Feel free to pause the video at any time while you do this. Now have a look at your week and see how many of the things and activities that you do, how many of them can be attributed to the focus areas that we set up in step 2 of this video. Maybe none of the activities align, maybe all do, but probably you're somewhere in the middle. Now what we want to do is look at that week and see what we can change in this particular week to better fit in with our focus areas. For example, the whole of last year I worked full-time at a job that I didn't particularly enjoy. And I felt that it took up too much time and energy from the things that I really wanted to focus on. Heading into this year, I then decided that I wanted to reduce my working hours from 8 to 6. This change had been vital because it has given me more time to sleep in the morning, which in turn have helped my recovery, and it has freed up more time to focus on the things I want to, with more energy reserved for these activities. So for me, going forward, I want to focus on football, YouTube, and studies. Then I want the absolute majority of my calendar to be filled with these 3 areas. Now looking at my updated calendar, these activities better align with my focus areas and goals for the future. Hopefully, after this little exercise, you now have a better understanding of how you currently spend your time and how you actually want to spend it. Step 4. Balance. Now, a mistake that can happen when you do this is that you try to cram in everything and be overly productive and disregard the activities that maybe not take you closer to your goal, but is vital in making you feel relaxed, recharged, and happy for when it's time to work again. Some days I reserve some time in the evenings after training to just watch my favorite TV shows or watch some fun YouTube videos, just to take my mind off things for a while. This is also something that you have to find out for yourself. It could be that you have completed the previous 3 steps, but you're still feeling a bit overwhelmed. The things you could change then is, as I said in step 3, reduce the number of focus areas that you have, or in step 4, add in a few activities that may not align with these focus areas, but it's something that relaxes you or that you just enjoy doing. Because that is one of the keys for keeping this up long term and not sticking with it for just a few days or a few weeks. Step 5. Execution. So now we have set everything out properly. We have our goals in our direction, we know where we should and want to place our energy, we have plotted that out in a calendar to see that it's actually possible, and we have recognized that there are times when we can stray away from these focus areas. Now, really where most people fail though is being consistent in their execution. They know what they want and they know how to do it, but it's just that doing it can suck at times. You have to understand though that this is completely normal. And there isn't a single person on this earth that doesn't have those days where you just want to stay in bed. However, you have to acknowledge and understand that in the end, you just have to show up as often as possible and do the work. Otherwise, the hard truth is that you probably won't reach your goals. Don't approach this with a perfectionist mindset though. It's okay if you miss a training session or 2. As long as you keep getting back on that horse after you fall down, you will be okay. Something else you can do to help you free up even more time is to start forming positive habits. If you want to get some tips on what habits to implement, you can check out this video where I go through 8 habits that I built up over the years that helped me become a professional footballer. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you found this content helpful. But other than that, that's it for this time. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.